basically I joined the Canadian Armed Forces in 2005, and this was a video that was actually created as a recruiting video during that time when I was going through the process of basically signing up. I served in Afghanistan as well as the Combat Engineer Regiment, which basically is the demolition regiment within the forces. And if you don't know anything about that, those are the guys who basically blow up the bridges as well as do counter ID. This is kind of like a cringe video of me looking back in the past in 2005, because now it's 2025. Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, because this is new and it's very exciting, very fun. And, you know, poke a little bit of fun at myself because I was younger back then. But other than that, let's have some fun.
A career in the Canadian Forces is both demanding and rewarding. For those who choose to serve, regardless of age, gender, or background, the journey begins here. We'll follow 5 young Canadians from the recruiting office through the rigors of basic training and beyond. We'll share their experiences, we'll share their goals and aspirations, we'll share their triumphs, and we'll share their defeats.
I'm Sergeant Derek Scott, and this is Basic Up.
For the lack of quality video. This was done like 15 years ago. Basic Up.
Here's an update on our 5 recruits.
Look at this schmuck right here, right in the middle. Eh? I guess I was the hero of this journey. Anyways, like I had the long hair, like I thought it was all that. Anyways, I had a nice necklace. You're going to see a little bit more.
As they report to basic training. Private recruit Joanne Waremko is 20 years old. She wants to learn new skills and make her father proud.
Every week I have to give money so she could go buy this, you know, and there was no end to it.
Even today you have to go and buy.
Even today we have to go and buy.
She needs money, money.
Okay.
I'm poor.
Private recruit Ryan White is 24 years old and is pursuing a long-time goal. He hopes to do his best and make a contribution however he can.
A lot more hectic. For the past longest while, like years and years, I've been doing retail, so I haven't gone out that much, been working long hours and that, and I took a few weeks off at the end of it to prepare for now. Ended up going out a lot and visiting a lot of friends and that, so it's kind of hectic in that. Try to get some extra training in there, but didn't seem to work out as well as I hoped. Other than that, it's pretty standard. It's nervousness is picking up a lot more. It wasn't nearly as bad back then. You're just thinking kind of something in the distance, but the last week really creeps up on you, and then before you know it, you're on a plane, right? So it's really interesting, to say the least.
Private recruit Giles Harding believes he has lacked direction in his life and wants to join the infantry to learn self-discipline.
I'm Private Recruit Giles Harding. I'm just about to enter the recruit school. And my past 2 weeks I've been preparing for this are pretty much a blur. And what I'm looking forward to when I get in there is to be yelled at a lot. So that's about it.
Private recruit Ken Collins is 19 years old. He believes the military will develop his leadership abilities.
I would have to say that a lot of my female friends don't want me to come here. They don't really have a reason, they just don't want me to be here. A lot of my male friends think it's kind of a neat experience. Like my friend Julian, he's really supportive of it. I say my friend Patrick, he knows I'm going to kill it, so it's going to be good.
The smugness of me back then, it was ridiculous. But you know what? When you're like 9, 20 years old yet, it's all about piss and vinegar, right? You live with your parents, you don't have any life experience whatsoever, and you think that nothing could hurt you, that you're untouchable. And that's just the way we all were at this age. You think that you're invincible. So you're going to find out really hard. He's going to learn a lesson, let's just put it that way.
Private recruit Adam Hudson is an 18-year-old from a military family. The military has always been a factor in his life, and in his own words, he figured he'd give it a shot.
I've been spending my last few weeks in Peterborough with my girlfriend, meeting some family members and pretty much doing everything. And a little nervous about walking through those green doors because I know I'm probably not going to be seeing the outside anymore.
Entering this rather ordinary-looking green door at Saint-Jean has an extraordinary effect on those who choose to enter it. New recruits will learn to walk, talk, dress, and even think differently, and the impact is immediate.
L124, you start the story in here to greet you, do your in process, make sure you have your baggage with you and any necessary paperwork. You can enter L124.
Our newly arrived private recruits are identified, and Instructor Sergeant Story explains a few rules during the in-clearing process. Eventually, temporary living quarters are assigned until the new platoon is assembled.
Okay, gentlemen, welcome to the...
Sergeant Story at the time was amazing. He was the best leader I've had in a long time. He was just incredible. He was very approachable. He was eager to teach everybody to learn. And this is kind of like what you're seeing right now. This is kind of like just for video purposes. When we actually did the real schooling, like this entire classroom was completely full, of course. But I got a chance to see Sergeant Story in Afghanistan, actually, and by that time he was a warrant officer, and he didn't recognize me whatsoever because we've changed so much. It's been a few years. But anyways, an immense mentor, leader, and just didn't really care about the system and the BS. He just wanted to make sure that everybody was trained and safe, and just wanted to go home. And it was a nice, refreshing change.
The Canadian Forces Leadership and Recruit School, Saint Jean. I am Sergeant Story, and I will be one of your instructors on your course, though you'll meet all your course staff Monday morning. Okay, what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a bit of an in-clearance. I'm going to confirm who I have here in the room. I'm going to ask your names. When I ask you your name, I don't care if your name is Lisa, if your name is Fred, Brian. What I want is your last name. And every time you answer a question, you're going to answer it, and then you're going to say Sergeant after. Is that understood?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Okay. Yep is not an answer. Yes is an answer. Okay, so get away from saying yep, because you're not going to do it anymore. Good. First person.
Daigle, Sergeant.
Daigle.
Sergeant.
Next.
Hoskins, Sergeant.
Next.
Hudson, Sergeant.
Hudson. Next.
Harding, Sergeant.
Harding. You will not eat if you don't have one of these cards, okay? It's like a credit card. You go in there, you get your meal, you go to a counter, and they have a swipe machine similar to this right here, okay? You're going to swipe your card. If you do not have a card, they're not going to serve you. You're going to have to go back upstairs and get it. So carry it on yourself at all times. Don't lose it. It's all on the list. Follow along. 2 great blankets. There's a mattress cover there. It's pretty evident what a mattress cover is. It goes over top of the mattress. You will put the mattress cover over the mattress. Is that understood? Okay. This isn't your personal bed at home. What you do at home is what you do at home. However, you're allowed to use all the base facilities because the course hasn't started yet. Upstairs on the 2nd floor, there's a Canex, which is just like a small dépanneur, small store. Okay? It's open, I believe, until 1900 tonight. You can get stuff there like chocolate bars, chips, some shaving stuff. You know what I mean? Just little stuff like that.
It's amazing going back. I haven't seen this video for years, for like 10 years at least. And even when it came out, it was really tough to get a hold of it because it was just not accessible. It was nothing, like YouTube was just growing, or if anything, it wasn't even the thing at that time. It was 2005. And I think it was 2010 when YouTube became an actual real thing, an actual real company. And this wasn't even possible, like, at all. So just like looking at these guys and like right away, I don't want to give things away, but I can definitely tell you which ones made it, which ones did not make it, which ones cried in a staircase, and which ones were very successful with their career.
Elevators are out of bounds.
I could never go on vacation. Running my renovation and contracting business took up all of my time.
When you move around this building, other than being upstairs in the Canex and whatnot, you will move around on the 1st floor. This is the ground floor, okay? And the course senior will show you how you move. There's the moving through the basement and whatnot. Whether you shave now or not, I mean, like you have a baby face like when I did when I went to recruit school, and I didn't shave. I was 17 years old. Guess what? You're shaving now. Doesn't matter. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Good. So if you don't have any shaving kit, either borrow a disposable razor from one of your buddies for now, because you're going to have to go get it anyway, or go to the Canex and buy some. No facial hair whatsoever. Mustaches. The only way you can wear facial hair is if it's for religious reasons.
There is a long list of items that recruits are not allowed to have in their possession during basic training.
Good. What's going to happen is, when I say go, you're going to empty your bags out. What I want everything laid out so I can see what you have. If at that time you have something you're not supposed to have, just lay it off to the side, and we'll deal with that once we're done. Questions? Go!
This is brutal, especially if you're civilian getting into this. This is like something that's almost like infringing on your rights.
Is this yours too? There we go. Pass me that bag. Nope, this bag right here. Pass me that bag.
I feel like going through like inspection at an airport.
Pack it up.
All personal belongings are searched and contraband items are confiscated and placed in civilian lockup. Everything from junk food to knives.
Like I said, don't get comfortable. You're only there for a couple of days and you're more than likely will be moving. Okay? See you Monday morning. Have a good weekend.
This music is so cringe. So the one thing they don't really explain very well in this is that this Station Quebec military base for like BMQ, which is basic military qualification, was extremely large facility. You can see the if you look it up on Google, things like that, you could see how big this building is. And basically, you had to walk up flights of stairs. You were not allowed to use the elevator. So whenever you had to go up and down the stairs, they like go to the mess hall, they go to courses, they go for road runs, which means like literally training like on the grounds in PT gear, which is physical training gear. You had to go up and down those stairs every single time. So it was quite the education to basically go up and down the stairs all the time. People, especially like when we try and get into our little tiny rooms here, in each room, as you can see, we basically had our own storage closet, and we had our own little bed as well. There was a little radiator at the end there with a window, as well as your cot. It was a single cot against a Spanish wall, which is basically a wall that is the size of, I would say, about maybe 5 feet tall, maybe less than that. And that was the separation between each bunk. And at least we had a little tiny bit of privacy, unlike when I was able to venture off to the U.S. and did training with the Americans, that the privacy was a lot lacking. So as Canadian soldier, we're very fortunate that they did respect a certain amount of privacy compared to the American forces. Of course, that depends on which regiment that they're in. But it was at the time very interesting and kind of like you don't really know how long you're going to be there. There's really no schedule that was presented to you. It's kind of like a vague expression, and basically it was like if you failed, you were just repeat the entire process. That was extremely stressful. Who's this little guy?
You gotta make our bed.
Not the Hilton, is it? I know, I've slept in worse.
No, it may not be the Hilton, but it won't be long before any bed looks pretty darn good. Basic Up will be right back. Before classes begin, assembled platoons are introduced to the rules, regulations, and expectations. This is Private Recruit Joanne Waremko's 11 Platoon.
So I didn't have any experience with this woman. I think she was from Quebec, so they had their French kind of like division, they had kind of like their English division, and that was more for like communication, things like that. And they also had the instructors that were really, really good at kind of like going back and forth. Some were bilingual, some were not bilingual. And they kind of just played on their strengths, basically. I had no affiliation with this certain member whatsoever. Never met her, I don't believe. They do kind of get into more detail. I think it's more because she is a female recruit at the time. But anyways, yeah, it was always a different journey for everybody for sure.
Anyone wondering who's in charge won't have to wonder for very long.
My name is Petty Officer Robinson. I am a recruit instructor here at Canadian Force Leadership and Recruit School. Today is Sunday evening. We are starting platoon 0206E, which is the serial number. It's actually 11 platoon. Tonight it starts. I'm going to go in and give them a little lecture. It's going to be the do's, the don'ts, what to expect. Tomorrow morning we hit the ground running. You are now in the military. You are now no longer an individual. You are a rank, a number, and a last name. When I ask, who are you? Get in. Grab a seat. Where's your paperwork? Get up top. Sit up there. You sure that number?
He was lucky. Like anybody ever showing up late to anything like that, you'd be doing push-ups so fast, like your head would be spinning right now. Like you'd be turning red no quick. So, anyways, obviously this guy was a specific. I can't see his rank right now, but I think that he was a master seaman, and that basically is a naval member in the Canadian Armed Forces. So they basically were on like frigates and boats and things like that. And that wasn't my department, so I'm not as educated with that kind of department. But they were definitely around, and they were pissed.
Number's correct? As I was saying, you're now in the military. When I ask your name, I don't care what your first name is. I really don't care. I want your rank and your last name. There's a whole sequence of things we're going to teach you to go along with that. That's what you're going to reply. Now you're probably saying to yourself, what's this guy talking about? I'm no longer an individual. That's correct. You're no longer an individual. You are now part of something even more special. You're part of a team. Who here's played team sports before? That's it? Bet you the rest of you are pretty good with Nintendo, aren't you? Yeah? Well, you're now part of a team. A big team. A big happy family. And that family is 11 platoon. This flag represents this platoon. This flag will go everywhere with this platoon. If you are selected to carry this flag, it is a position of honor. If I take it away from you in the middle of the day and give it to someone else, it's because you have pissed me off. This is something special. When we come into a classroom, there are holders at every classroom. The flag goes there for instruction. Any questions about the flag? No. Any questions about the flag? No. I want to see lots of enthusiasm. I want to see lots of guts. You're in the Army now. Even if you're in the Navy and the Air Force, I don't care. You're in the Army now. Room! Room! Shut up! I say room. You go to attention. Look straight to your front. Close your eyes.
I swear this guy watched way too many war movies, but he was definitely a lot more eccentric for the filming of this certain recruitment video. And if I do remember correctly, he was probably trying to harass me a couple of times, and I was more confused, like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he yelling at me? And why is a sea captain or master seaman coming over here and talking to somebody who's in the Army, right? It was just like, what the fuck's going on? So anyways, it's like I said, it's for dramatics, but it's still entertaining. At the time, you're terrified. You're just left home. You have no rights. You have no weekends, and that's what people forget a lot about. You have 0 weekends. You're not going out. You're not going to the pubs. You're not going to see the girls, or like whatever. And you're not seeing friends. You're not playing video games. There's very little recreational activity happening whatsoever. A lot of people have brought like laptops, like extracurricular things, whatever. But like that shit's all locked up, guys. Like this is the military. Like you don't have a chance to kind of like be a real person. You're here to learn, to study, and to slowly earn back your rights as a Canadian before you get those privileges back. So, anyways, looking back now, it's like I understand why you have to do this, but at the time it was just like, holy shit! Like what did I sign up for? Because like I left college being like I can't stand authority. I can't stand living with my parents anymore. And here I am going back into it, following somebody else, being stuck in routine. But, I think it probably made the better person I am today. but still, it's probably for my kids, I would not suggest it.
Correction, close your mouth. PO. Platoon, 11 platoon, 61 out of 62, waiting your instructions. PO.
Thank you. Carry on, PO.
Thank you. Relax. When an instructor calls room, you don't have to do it. It's already been done. It's redundancy. You shoot someone, you don't have to shoot them again, right? Nod your heads yes. Everybody nod your head yes. Everybody nod your head yes. Now shake your head no. Now shake your head like this. You hear anything? BB in a boxcar. You know what that means? A little brain going bang, bang, bang. Anyhow, carry on. You're allowed to laugh at that, troops. Everyone will be clean, and the males will be clean shaven every morning. You don't have uniforms yet. We're going to take care of that in the next couple of days. We're going to give some of you disgusting people haircuts, because some of you really need haircuts.
Oh, we switched over.
You're going to be shaven. I'm really happy to see there's no longer a goatee. Where is he? Excellent. Much better. Now we'll get rid of that freaking mop you call a haircut. The only jewelry you're allowed to wear. Very simple. Watch. And if you don't have a watch, I strongly suggest you get one. And if it's a beeping type watch, anybody got one of those watches that beeps and has alarms? I'll rip it off your freaking arm if it goes off in the middle of my class. Turn the beep thing off. If you don't know how, leave it upstairs. You're better safe than sorry. Wedding ring? How many married people? And for the women, little earring, little stud, okay? Something like that. Stand up. Stand up. See that? See her earrings? Turn around. Everybody see her earrings? Why are you nodding your head? You can't wear earrings. Women only. All right? I know a lot of you guys have all sorts of things pierced. I don't want to see it. No shame. Anybody feel sick yet? A little bit of nervous, queasiness? A little nervous? Anybody nervous? Honest, 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 honest. So there we go. About 10% honesty in the platoon so far. I'll work on that. I'll tell you right.
The thing about the military is that, like, if you came from a family that would just fucking shit on you all the time, and like you just grew up in a very rough area, a very rough neighborhood, you don't care. Like you haven't been broken. It's very tough to break somebody like that, and it's just like I remember with this guy, like one of these guys where you're like yelling at me. I'm like, what? You're going to yell at me? Like freaking parents did that for my entire life. Like I couldn't care less, but at the same time, you still got to show a little bit of respect. It's a game. As long as you play at the back of your head, it's a game. You got to get through the game, and then you're going to be able to advance to the next level. That's all you got to do.
Right now, troops, one of my pet peeves, don't ever lie to me. All right? I would rather you tell me, P.O., I screwed up, than to try and lie to me. That's a freebie, guys. I'll give you that one. That is a freebie. Do not lie to me. We're not expecting too much tomorrow. But if I show up and you've taken your bedding and wadded into a pile and put it in the middle of your bunk, you know what I'm going to say? Attitude problem! This soldier has an attitude problem! That's what I'm going to say. You don't want me saying that with your name attached to it. Here's a little one. Myself and P.O. are in the Navy. In the Navy, we live in really cramped quarters. And there are people on this earth who, for some reason or another, don't feel it necessary to cleanse themselves. It's disgusting, and it will not be tolerated. You will shower after physical training. You might not have long, but you will shower after physical training. Understood? Yes, we Understood? Yes, we Privileges. Going anywhere. For example, to the Canex or the break area.
So the Canex is basically the equivalent of the American PX, and I've been in the U.S. multiple times, and I've been on multiple bases in the military, and they're beautiful places. You can get tons of gear, tons of like extracurricular things that you want, like to entertain yourself or whatever. There's knives and whatever, and yeah, basically it's like a kind of like a mini Walmart, if you will. And the PX in the military, or the U.S. military, is like that, and the Canex in the Canadian Armed Forces is like that as well. So you can buy all your shaving equipment, you can buy like just any kind of toiletry you can think of, and any clothing you could use. Of course, you don't want to buy the wrong type of clothing because there's a lot of like different regiments and different things like that. The last thing you want to do is, you know, join the Marines and show up with like, I don't know, something from the Navy or something from the Air Force, right? You're gonna be laughing stock for sure. You're gonna learn the hard lesson, and that's the same goes for anything Canadian as well.
It's a privilege, not a right. Does everybody understand the difference between a privilege and a right?
Too
Tell
many
me, what is
American
the
movies
difference
this guy's
between
been watching.
a privilege
Too many.
and a right?
Privilege is something you allow us to have, and a right is something you have a right to do at all times.
Exactly. You have the right to breathe. Not your heads. You have the right to breathe. Everything else, pretty much, we'll decide if you can do it or not. All right. Anabolic steroids, all that powdered crap you can buy and pump up and all the rest of that. If you are a professional weightlifter and you are following a strict training regime, hey, that's fine. Here, at the Canadian Forces Leadership and Recruit School, you have a properly designed diet, exercise program that you do not need any of that stuff. All right? I can't emphasize that enough, troops. You don't want to...
Yeah, you can look at this guy's size and yeah, you could totally tell that he's been dieting for sure. Like, come on, give me a break. I've been to those feeding areas. You can have whatever the hell you want. You can have steak, chicken. Like, the cooks are pretty good. Like, they're professionals in their field, and you can't run a military without them, absolutely. But you can't tell me like it is regimented 100% to make sure your diet is perfect. There's tons of treats, tons of snacks. You could take shit to your room and kind of like confiscate it and that kind of stuff. But come on, this guy is in no way regimented for the Army.
Be putting crap in your body that you don't need. We are going to be hard on you people for the next 11 weeks. We are going to make you go through the toughest and roughest period of your life to date. You are going to cry yourself to sleep at nights, on occasion. Maybe not all of you, but I guarantee you some of you are going to cry yourself to sleep at night. And there's no shame in that, because we're going to put it to you.
Hate to call him out, but Mr. Baker, buddy, had a little bit of a tough time over that wall.
More Basic Up in just a minute. The initial days are full of activity. Days are spent in everything from orientation tours to shopping for essentials and, of course, the requisite haircut. Each recruit is issued an advance on their first pay in order to purchase these goods and services. And, of course, it's all done in military fashion.
And that's excellent because, like, if you come from nothing, if you're homeless, if you had like a shit upbringing, you have terrible parents, you had a terrible situation because you're divorced or whatever, and you have no money because the alimony checks have been ripped out of your bank account because of whatever reason, like that helps you so much. It just gets you above water. So as somebody like myself, I was 18, 19 years old at the time. I had no money. I literally was working at McDonald's like as much as I could to stay away from any of my parents, things like that, while going to school and do post-secondary education at the same time. So like I just couldn't stand being home at all. But like just to have that little bit extra cash, like holy jeez, like you felt like wealthy right away. Especially like I think it was like $600 every 2 weeks. It was just like holy smokes. And of course it's 2025 right now, and like that is like nothing today. But back then, before like this liberal government screwed everything up, like it was just money in the bank. It was great. It was a great experience.
There is constant reinforcement from the instructors, and an impromptu lesson can occur anytime, anywhere.
You pass by on your right, that's the subway. It's out of bounds for you the first 4 weeks.
Come here. Come here. Swing your arms properly. You're in the military now, all right? You swing your arms properly. They go all the way up to the front, and you push it to the rear. If you push it to the rear, it'll come back up naturally, all right? It's a lot easier to walk that way. Turn around. Now start marching. March with pride. Swing your arm to the rear. That's it. That's bear walking.
You're going to form up a line up in front of Mashko Cabral over there. And 10 by 10 is going to bring you to the cashier downstairs, where we're going to receive each of one of you $220, which is an advance for on your first paycheck. Any question?
Before stand at the attention, close together. All right. Okay. What's your question?
The question was, I believe I had my ID and my kit, but I don't. It's upstairs.
It's upstairs. What's your name? Collins? Yes. All right. Go grab it. You got 2 minutes. Let's go.
Harding.
Of course, for the filming of this video, they didn't tell you how to bring your ID with you at all. This was all premeditated. But like, you had to bring your ID for collecting payment, of course. You had to show something. Like, I didn't have a driver's license at the time. All I had was the military ID, and that was processed on site. And they took your fingerprints, and they took your photograph, and that was it, right? So it's quite the culture shock right away, because they don't teach you stuff like this in the classroom. Like, you got to bring your ID everywhere so you can collect payment. No, they wait till you show up, obviously, to the payee and say, hey, where's your ID? Here's Gunter.
Order. Private order.
Good looking lad there. I don't think I actually counted the money. I just want to look cool.
Don't be looking around, gents. Head now straight to the front and stop the fucking
And everybody got a haircut, of course. They made you pay like, I think it was like $15 to $20 for this fucking haircut. All he did was shave your head, and then this recruit, his good friend at the time, I think his last name was Harding, and obviously more traumatic for this guy, but he didn't care. He was happy to join. He was more than happy to join the RCR, which is the Royal Canadian Regiment, and I believe that he did quite well. And they expected a fucking tip. They wanted a tip for this.
Let's go. We're waiting for you. It's not hard. This is showing clothing. What you're missing?
Okay, you will get that sometimes this week. Actually, tomorrow, you will get T-shirts and military underwears and so on, socks, stuff like that. All right. So what you need to buy here, it's a picture frame. You have the picture frame?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's it. 2 face cloth. Those are not face cloths.
My boy, Mr. White, right there. So talk to him today.
How about hangers?
Master Corporal?
I wasn't
Master Corporal, Master Seaman.
fully informed in Montreal at the recruiting center about what kind of clothes I should bring here. So when I got here, it turned out the tank tops I had brought were not right, and we had to wear t-shirts. So they told me I had to buy a t-shirt, which I did. And it was quite funny when I was choosing out the t-shirt, the POs were there, and they decided to find me a shirt because I was having problems finding small, because everything's large. And they found me this nice navy t-shirt. So that was quite fun, and they really like it.
Basic Up will continue. By day 3 of basic training, recruits are issued their military kit. From now on, they'll look more like soldiers, but becoming a member of the Canadian Forces is a lot more than just putting on a uniform.
So that's pretty standard, is that you basically take out your bag and you open it all up. All the gear that you just received, you lay it all out, and they basically have an inspection check throughout all that gear, right? So make sure you have your hard hat and like your workout clothes and any military gear. Basically what is that you have 3 sets of everything. So you got like 3 long trousers, or like 3 shirts, 3 undershirts. You have, I think, about like 4 to 5 socks, something like that. They're pretty generous with that. Underwear, I think, is about for a week. And the majority of it's very, very comfortable attire. The first boots that I ever received were garbage. They were absolutely terrible. The pure leather, really terrible in the winter. And at the bottom, like eventually when it got really cold out, it became like a hockey puck, so you would slip all over the freaking place. There's no traction whatsoever. But, you know, once again, I was very excited because before I got a chance to join, obviously most people, they watch the movies, American movies and such like that, and they Band of Brothers, and they're very excited to like kind of get into it. And then you start kind of like realizing like, holy shit, like we're all in this together. We're becoming kind of like that Band of Brothers, and you're very, very like your mindset changes. It's like, this is now my new family. This is what you got to look out for each other, and you have to do the best. So if somebody who's like kind of like falling behind, you want to help them out. If they really don't care, basically you kind of really resent them quite a little bit, because all they do is just cause you a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, because in the regiment they basically just say like, you know what, the lowest common denominator, like that's who's going to be the one who doesn't want to listen, and it's kind of like a gang mentality to kind of get them to listen, right? So it's just the old way of doing things. Thousands of dollars for the gear.
Basic Up is committed to showing the blood and guts reality of the making of a Canadian soldier. We show the triumphs and we show the defeats. One of our 5 recruits decides enough is enough and asks for their voluntary release. Find out who it is next time on Basic Up.
So there you have it. That's the very first episode of it. I'm going to show you episode number 2 coming next. So make sure you guys watch that. Like and subscribe, guys. It helps the channel immensely. And you guys get to see more commentary, what's actually like in the Canadian Armed Forces, uncut, unfiltered. And that way you have a really good time and maybe poke a little bit of fun. So write some things in the comment. If you were in the military, thank you for serving, guys. Kind of give me your feedback on what you think, or maybe your experience as well. And we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you guys soon.